welcome to another edition of our Moneyline podcast with our regular co-hosts, Vincent, Salazar, Ray, Medeiros. Luann is sitting out this one because we actually forgot our extra plug. But today our special guest is somebody who we hold near and dear, our father, David Salazar Sr.
Yeah,
very special.
Everybody calls him Senior. Dad, welcome.
Thank you.
Senor.
Be here.
welcome.
So today I wanted to go over a few things. Dad, what we normally talk about on this podcast is how people make money, the different ways that people make money, and we were intrigued by it. We want to learn about it. We also incorporate some of what we see in the legal field every week, and also we talk about sports at the end. Today, I wanted to talk to you. You are retired now for what, almost 2 years?
Yes, going on 2 years.
So please tell all three people who listen where you worked at before and for how long.
I was with United Parcel Service for 37 years.
37.
And
Wow.
I got lucky when I started there. I started driving right away. Didn't have to do the preloading and any of that stuff. So
How old were you when you started?
I was about 23.
Dang.
Wow.
And
20.
I remember when you got the job.
I did
almost
too.
40 years.
I remember when
I
you got
was
the job.
I was in construction back then, and somebody mentioned to me about trying there, and they told me I was making a mistake because I was good at construction as well. And there was probably some good money to be made in construction, but I looked at benefits and the overall what it provided. So I said, that's got to be the best route for
And
me,
having
for
kids and
the
being
long-
young.
yeah.
And I'm sure
So
all
David
that.
was born when you were 23.
We both were. Yeah.
both of them were.
What do you mean?
You
David was 5.
Yeah.
I was
You
8
remember him
four.
getting the
Wow.
job.
I remember him taking the job. Yeah.
So you have no memory.
I was Luca's age.
You have no memory of him ever having any other job.
I remember him working
No,
construction.
I remember construction.
Actually, I did construction while at UPS for another 20 years. So,
Yeah.
Oh, you did UPS and construction.
yes. Anything to make a buck for the family, to be able to go places, do things. They traveled many of the states before.
That's yeah.
And so we went a lot of places, but it took work.
Yeah.
It took a lot of hard work on my behalf, and not everybody, because it wasn't a one man deal.
Well, how old were you when you started construction? Because wasn't Grandpa in construction business also?
My dad was in construction, so I would, when I was about 12 years old, I would tag along with him, and 12. I learned from mistakes because I would cut boards, I would fit paneling, and sometimes it didn't fit right. But I learned from how to make it fit right.
It's like Luca.
Are you gonna put a handsaw in Luca's hand at 12?
He's got his toy ones.
I think I trust my 2-year-old far better than I trust my 5-year-old with power tools.
I think about like because my fiance, we grew up in completely different lifestyles, and we were talking about, she was like telling me how they went to different places and went on trips and stuff like that, and I told her, I was like, oh, I remember we all went on a family trip to Niagara Falls, and she was like, oh wow, how long was that flight? I was like, oh, we drove there in a Ford F-150, and my dad put a camper on it, and he put these little makeshift bunk beds, and I remember that, and he we had like little mosquito nets on the outside and everything.
Plus
there was a boot.
Yeah, there was a boot. There was a slider windows
That's
in
what it
the
was
cab
called, the boot.
and a slider window in the camper. So I would put a little plastic boot, to where the AC from the cab would go into
go
it.
into
was
the back.
pretty
And it
much,
had a little fan blowing to the back.
Yeah.
He hooked up a fan with power to the battery so you could have air coming into the back. The camper had windows.
Nice.
Also,
open
that
them
you
up.
could slide open.
Yeah.
Screens on them. And the boot, though, was, if you don't understand it, it's a camper that has a sliding window, connects to the back of the bed of the truck with the sliding window.
I got you.
And it encloses it, and
Like
you
a
could even
piece of-
feel the air condition
Yeah.
coming in through there.
I got you.
So it was just a hole where you would climb
Did you
through.
make that yourself? That
No, you
connection?
buy the boot because it's made for that.
Oh, okay.
And it
He
keeps
made the
that
beds.
outside air. Yeah.
He did make the beds, yeah.
And
I
there's
remember
a
that.
double level, so some stay on top,
So
some on the bottom.
imagine 2 foot, 24 inches by whatever the bed is, the width, 8 foot, 7 foot.
Yeah.
And then it rested on top of the bed, and then the other one was rested on the wheel well. But
Right.
you put pretty much plywood, maybe
Right.
a little cushion, and then like carpet,
I think it was carpet.
Over the top.
Yeah, it was carpet.
Yeah.
and then just throw like little sheet on it
Yeah.
or whatever. Throw some pillows back there.
Y'all were comfortable back there.
Oh yeah, probably wasn't the safest ride.
But the camper,
No seatbelts,
The
no.
camper's connected, right?
It's connected.
Yeah.
But you can
There's no
accident.
seatbelt.
We were just running around
Hey,
in the
man,
back like.
this is the 80s, man.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal nowadays.
This is the 80s. They can't see inside the camper. Cops can't.
Well, back then you could drink in while you were driving too, so it wouldn't. it was, but not that we're doing that.
See,
But
you're telling too much of your story. Like that.
As we segue into accident injury matters.
Yeah.
Let's keep these felonies down.
So, Dad, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was you being a UPS driver. Obviously, you learned about safety, and I'm going to say, just put this out there. In my 17 years of practice, we have handled thousands of cases, and we have handled thousands of cases against multiple delivery service companies, and I cannot think of one time where we have had one against UPS where they were at fault. And I think that's an amazing thing to say, because that just goes towards their safety and their accountability, but also like their awareness on the road.
well, that's something that's engrafted to you. I mean, it's part of you, who you are behind the wheel, because they got some techniques that you're taught, and like approaching intersections, you start way in advance looking at the intersections, looking at the lights, and looking at everything around you, not just in front of you, but behind you, and you got to compensate for whatever's going to happen. And I always had kind of a cliche that I use that, what if? I know it's very pessimistic, but, what if a dog crosses? What if a horse or something, anything happens? What are you prepared to do? And I see a lot of these kids that are driving fast on the highways, and I say to myself, do they know how to press the gas, but do they know what's going to happen when the blowout happens?
Yeah.
Because at any point in time, something can happen, and people have to be prepared for it. At UPS, they instill that very strongly, and you don't have any minor fender benders without calling the company. If you do, your history.
Yeah.
So, I mean, knowing all that stuff, you take it to heart to drive defensively and pay attention to everything. Not just, like I said, not just what's in front of you, because something will happen behind you that'll affect what's in front of you.
Yeah.
And so you have to be aware of your surroundings at all times.
And I don't know, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you real quick, but I don't know if you remember this, but it's something that I do want to use as a clip, AJ, if possible. But whenever I was learning how to drive, you had taught me, and I remember this very vividly, there were certain things that you had said, and it was, look in your rearview mirror, look in your mirrors. Are they dirty? Are they clean? Or something like that. Do you remember? There were different words.
But dirty means something's in your. Somebody could be telling you. Somebody could be getting ready to pass you. You could be fixing to make a left turn, and if they're going to pass you, that's an automatic accident. So you just have to. At UPS, you're supposed to look forward, and every 2 to 5 seconds, look to your mirror, back, and then to the mirror, and always be scanning.
Yeah.
Your head is like these little chihuahuas that's doing this number, and that's what you're supposed to be doing at UPS, and that's why everybody's so alert. And I mean, accidents do happen to UPS.
Yeah.
But they're minimal because they stress safety.
Yeah.
And we've actually helped out on, I several handfuls of UPS workers or drivers that have been, in an accident, due to somebody else's negligence. But going back to that, like I remember learning how to drive and you telling us, like, always scan, like look at your mirror, back, forth, whatever, be prepared. Like, I think that overflowed. Maybe it was just you as a person. Obviously not everybody's like you. And just to let everybody know, how many years of safe driving did you have?
I had 36
37?
and a half. Yeah, 36 and a half. The first 5 months when I started, I hit a little sandy patch that there was a fence a foot from that sandy patch. And just it catching, I was only doing about 20 miles an hour, but the sand caught the tire. And by the time I hit the brake, I was already on the little fence pole. Just bent the bumper back about 2 inches. But it's something you still have
a ding.
to call in. Yeah,
like the insurance company is still like a ding.
I'd have to say that it's definitely a testament to the hiring process, whatever UPS has, because every driver can't be a senior. So the fact that we've not handled one and David can't name one, that means to say they have something rigorous going on in their hiring process.
Yep.
That they put the right drivers on the road. I used to live right around the corner from the distribution center of UPS in Austin, and I'd see them, thousands of them in the
Like
morning.
ants leaving.
It's crazy when they
Ant-hole.
leave. Like you have to. It's like a funeral procession as they're leaving, because you're not getting out of that intersection because they're all leaving at the same time. And I'd have to admit they're flying, but they don't look reckless. And
Yeah.
there's not a lot. I can't say that I've actually seen a UPS truck in an accident. So.
And that was the other thing, too. I think one of the other important things that you had mentioned to me, and I want to say this for the audience, is that if you want to avoid a rear-end accident, one of the things that you had taught me was do not look at the brake lights of the car in front of you. Look at the brake lights of the 3 cars in front of you.
Yep.
And if you start looking at those instead of the ones in front of you, that's where you will begin to start being more.
You're seeing through
Yes.
the car in front of you.
Correct.
You're not like not paying attention to that one also, but
Correct.
you're seeing all of those in front.
He's going to have to stop, right?
And it's
Yeah.
very critical to stay away from billboards. What they call billboards is a truck, any vehicle that's taller than what you can see ahead of it. You know, if you see the back of end of the truck, then you should automatically be staying either further back or move lanes or something, because I mean you don't know what's in front of that vehicle. All of a sudden it breaks, and those 18-wheelers. They don't stop on a dime, but they have a lot more traction to stop right away.
Yep.
And if you're too close to them, you're on them.
Yeah.
Not everybody can anticipate something happening and doesn't. They assume that everybody's going to keep flowing at the same speed. And who knows? A bed can come off a truck. You know, somebody could have a blowout. There could be something in the road, and you're like, I didn't see it, but they swerve at the last minute. We've had a lot of cases like that where somebody swerves, the other person's following too close, they hit it,
and they hit the thing that this person swerved around.
Yeah, you got to give yourself some space.
And most people don't realize, like with 18-wheelers, it takes 1 to 2 seconds for their air brakes to engage. So a lot of times those brakes, they're braking, but they're not braking yet.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate.
And you got response time that affects it as well.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. And the worst thing, and there's a study about this, but they have shown that being on your phone is just as bad as drinking and driving.
Oh,
Like,
if not worse.
I'd imagine
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
I'd imagine worse.
You're literally taking your eyes off the road.
And your
Drinking
attention.
or even on drugs, whatever. And I'm not advocating for that by any means. But if your eyes are not on the road, not paying attention, you know, you could be impaired, but still you trying harder almost. Not that I haven't experienced doing that.
No, you've never done that.
But I would think that somebody impaired is just trying to, you know, maintain versus somebody who's not even paying attention. Then that's it.
Yeah, I agree.
I've definitely looked at my phone too much.
I'm sure.
I agree.
Well, now I get that. I text you, and it's like automatically. It's like I'm driving. So you got that setting.
That
right?
comes from the car.
Oh, does it really?
The car is sending that.
Okay.
You know, you connect to the Bluetooth. The car will not let
Oh,
me
really?
receive messages. It'll
That's
just
cool.
send the response. He's driving.
And then you follow it up by, no, I'm not. I'm good.
No,
What's
I'm
up?
good. I'm good. What you got? Yeah.
What's up? I ain't doing nothing.
My car does not. I put in a little thing and just lets me. It just notifies me of everything.
But
It's like
your
the
car
worst.
also has an up screen that
It
allow
does.
you to talk directly to it,
Yeah,
and you
that's
can
true.
respond, interact with the car.
It's also bathing you, giving you a
Right,
massage, and all those things at the same time.
This car got all kind of stuff.
Trim them, beard
What
trim.
is it?
Yeah.
Did you get a haircut in the car?
That'd be
Yeah, of
awesome,
course.
honestly. Dad, so one of the other things I want to talk to you about is, and this is something, again, we've talked about other people in the past, is of your 37 years working at UPS, what is it that you wish more people knew about UPS that you don't think they do know?
Or the job in general.
Or the
It doesn't
job.
have to be
Yeah,
UPS
it doesn't have to be UPS,
specific.
but just working as a driver. You tell me.
A lot of people get upset because their packages there aren't there when they want them to be there. Everybody always wants it the day ahead, you know. And a lot of times it's not the driver's fault, but people get mad at the drivers. And there's a lot of logistics that happens that, you know, weather storms, delays, or whatever it is, and they get upset at the drivers, you know, saying that should have been here, so-and-so. And I'm guilty of that because I've had projects going on at home that I order something and it tells me it's going to be there at X amount of time,
Yeah.
and I'm waiting all day long impatiently. So I'm just as guilty as that of that. But lots of times it's not the driver's fault. They do the best they can. They're at a very stressful level to get as much off they cannot go home with a package in the vehicle. Everything has to be attempted.
Really?
On. Yes, you cannot go home. Back in the day, we had a program that you could, if you had like a big town, you had one leg that would take you an hour and a half to do, and you had to be in by a certain time. You could skip that leg. But that's been years ago. So now every package that's on the vehicle has to be attempted on. If not, you can't get away with it because everything is
Tracked.
Everything is tracked now.
Yeah.
Everything is tracked as
Yeah.
it's going into your vehicle.
Right.
And some people think they get away with things, but they don't because.
So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that unless it's a signature required and nobody's there to sign off on it, that's the only thing you can come back with, or not?
Well,
even?
yeah, I mean, but you've got that logged in that you attempted
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah, yeah, okay,
everything's,
gotcha.
Everything's legit.
Yeah.
But some people would try to kind of scam and hide a box, or say they didn't have it when they did, and they know when it's going into the vehicles now.
Yeah.
It's not just that it made
scan
it
it,
to the
right?
center; they got a scanner going into the vehicle, so they know it's in that truck.
And they notify the person who's receiving the package that it is on a truck, because I get
Out for
packages
delivery,
delivered,
yeah.
out for delivery, and then it'll tell you how close it is. So I can only imagine that.
So the stress levels are there for you to do what you're supposed to do, and apart from getting packages at their arrival time, you have a safety factor you have to factor in, because sometimes the trucks get so full, the box you need is in the middle, and you have to move some stuff around, and you have to reach over and pick them up, and when you do that, you can hurt your back, you can throw your back out by reaching over and stretching over, improperly stretching. And one of the things they teach you is how to bend down at your knees and lift with your legs and stuff like that, which is hard to do sometimes in those vehicles.
Because it's so
And-
tight?
Yeah, because it's so tight. And so you have to fight
Ergonomics.
that, apart from people being upset.
Yeah.
And then apart from that, you got the company who's tracking every step you do. It seems
Standards.
like all the vehicles have they know if you roll a stop sign. They know you cut some cheese in there, and they're asking, "Hey, what's that scent in there?" Or I'm exaggerating there, but I mean everything's micromanaged to a point that you can't get away with stuff like you used to back in the
They
day.
tracking you.
Yeah.
And are they? Because I know back in the day there was no air conditioning in the trucks. Is it still the same way?
It's still
or-
the same way. It's still
Yeah, that's a-
That is unbelievable.
Wait a minute.
oven.
So in Texas, there are UPS trucks without any form of air conditioning.
You got the doors open.
The only trucks that have air conditions are the big rigs, 18-wheelers that
You gotta be
travel.
kidding me.
No, none of them have AC. And the thing is, it wouldn't benefit the vehicles. The start on and off would hurt the starters and hurt the motors more than it would help you. Plus, if you got that air conditioned, blowing cold air in your face and you're hot as hell, you're going to get sick. You're going to get a stroke.
They conditioned you well.
yeah.
Like, nah, I need that air.
Like lots of times, like just yesterday, I was working outside, and then my son, little man, was there, and he said, "Dad, isn't this hot to you?" And to me, it was cool. It was like breeze was coming through. This was like kind of like air conditioning to me. And he was, sweating. He's, and so you're right. When you get conditioned, and when you're in those vehicles and inside the back of those vehicles, it's about 135 degrees. And then if you got a walkway space in the middle, we had a guy who would walk up and down to, get in his back, and it was all wet down the middle because all of it's sweat. So they teach you to hydrate and not hydrate once you've already sweated everything. You got to do it the day before.
Yeah.
Start early, and so you don't get cramps or strokes or whatever. So
No.
So
you don't have a stroke.
you want to lose a little weight, just go work at UPS for a little while.
No joke.
he was telling me regularly he had 20 or 30,000 steps. Is that right?
Yeah, on an average, it was about 27,000 steps a day.
How many stops? did
And
you
that's
have
not
for
even including
packages?
carrying weight. 'Cause, I mean, you
I
have
wonder if he had had a smartwatch back in the day.
Yeah.
You have climbed Mount Everest. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, for sure.
because I mean,
3
and that's
times in
and
the
that's
past
just that's just walking. You consider walking and holding 40, 50 pounds in your arms. So it's a workout. My wife tells me that UPS was good to me physically because it kept me fit, kept me in shape, and she tells me that I'll never get a stroke. But no, you never know.
Good cardio, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
No joke.
Yeah.
135, that cannot be healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
But you can get conditioned as long as you don't. They do tell you, they stress that if you start feeling ill, to take a break somewhere. And back in the
keep
day,
working.
No,
yeah,
get on back on
back in the
Yeah.
day,
2 minutes.
they would tell you, just one time I had
Get a wash out.
in Columbus area, I had in Sealy, there was like a hurricane warnings and dark clouds everywhere. I thought I spotted some funnels, and I called in and said, "Hey, I see this, and then, what do I do?" Well, go around it.
You only have 5 more packages.
Go around it.
You only got 5 more
make it.
packages. You should be okay.
Yeah.
So I guess one of the things the audience does not know is for the past almost 2 years now, you've been working with us, and I'm curious. As somebody, so he's been doing a lot of marketing for us in Central Texas, which is where we were born and raised. And I'm curious as to what you have learned about the legal industry that you did not know previously.
First and foremost, I appreciate the opportunity by you. Thanks for the employment. I really hadn't considered much about getting out, but with as hot as it's been getting, I appreciate the offer and took it. And I'm learning that it's a stressful job, just like any. I don't do a lot of what y'all do. Basically, talk to people. I hand out a lot of gifts, try to encourage some business. And so I don't get to see the legal aspect of it, but I do see how some people, even people who are not clients, who are there, they're tired of their cases taking so long.
Yeah.
And a lot of people stress to me, so-and-so is my attorney and nothing's happening. What can I do? Can I fire him, or can I hire y'all? So, and I'll divert all those questions to you guys because I don't know a lot of the insights, but a lot of people are a little stressed because they're taking so long. And then some of the legal matters like the PPA, what is the PPI? Personal injury protection.
PIP.
Yeah.
That is a must for everybody.
Yeah.
In spite of the few dollars that it's going to cost you, it's going to save you in the long run. Should you
Ways
have an
to
accident.
protect yourself.
Yeah.
And not relying on somebody else's, insurance or lack of insurance.
Yes.
And I think kind of to press on what you're saying is it's hard for us to convey to people, lay people who don't deal with this daily, how long a process like this takes. And it's unfortunate. I had a client get upset with me yesterday because his case hasn't settled yet, and he got in an accident in October. We're in May, by the way. So for anybody who doesn't know, in the legal field, the regular, a normal amount of time for a case to get resolved is anywhere from 9 months to 4 or 5 years.
It depends on
Depending on a
how
lot
long
of things.
Yeah, on a lot of things. Yeah.
And 9 months is the quickest, cleanest, no liability issues, no damages issues. We've got an insurance company that wants to work with us. Everything is working in our favor. That's 9 months. And it's tough because people, and I get it, people want their money and people want to get better, but we can't control how quickly they get healthy again.
Yeah.
And
That's
Ray,
what I told one of the clients that we have in San Marcos area. She, I was delivering some trinkets to her, and she was telling me that her son wants her to move the case on to another attorney because they said it's taking so long. And I told her it's not the attorney's fault. It's the court system that hold up everything, and there's nothing you can do. Everything is done as far as on paperwork, and they're just waiting on the court system to process the dates and so forth. But she was adamant about her kid wanted her to move on somewhere else.
And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because people don't realize that court systems are very backlogged. I'll give you an example of what I had a mediation yesterday, and the mediator told our client, so in Harris County, every single year, the cases start with 24- a number. And that number is, at the very beginning of the year, it starts at 00000 or 1. That's what it starts at. And he was like, your case is 24-49837. And I'm making up a number. That's not the real number. But her case was filed in February. So that means that 49,000 other cases were filed in January and February before hers. So that's how many other cases are in line in Harris County alone. So when people start to put that in perspective, they realize how backlogged the system is. And it's unfortunate because each of those cases is going to take a year to 3 years to get resolved. And when you start doing the math on that, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah. One important factor is that a lot of times when these things take that long, regardless, we're not even talking about litigation. We're talking about the claims process still. We're trying to settle a case pre-litigation without having to file a lawsuit against the insurance company. What comes down to it is we're really fighting for additional funds to put in our clients' pockets. We could get it done. We could get those bills paid. You've gotten treatment and you've gotten better, and we could put some money in your pocket. But really what we're fighting for is more money in your pocket. Right. And because you're not happy with what you would be getting when it technically shouldn't be about the money anyway.
So you say.
That's what you're mad about.
So you said originally it's not about the money.
Until it's about the money.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's one of our sayings in-house. It's unfortunate. We want to help people. We try to do the right thing. We tell them all the time, we want to get you set up with treatment. We want to get your bills paid. We want to get you feeling as close to 100% as possible. And we want to put some money in your pocket so you can put this whole event behind you. But when it comes down to it, we're like, hey, we can get all these things done. Here's how much you'll get. And they'll be like, how much? That's all? You're like, hey, I thought it wasn't about the money. It's about getting better and just being made whole again. And that's a lot of times what creates this time frame problem.
Yeah.
And the extension of, and we can fight for it. We can file a lawsuit, and we have done that a lot of times, because a lot of times we think that maybe insurance companies and adjusters are undervaluing these cases or these claims. But when it comes down to it, it's like, how much is good enough for you? Because we can get it done early enough. Yes, we want to get you the most we can, but at the same time, are you willing to extend it a year, 2 years down the road to split hairs, as like we like to say.
Yeah. And for those of you clients or potential clients that are listening, we genuinely want to help you, and we genuinely want to make sure we get you treated. And I've heard Vince tell this to clients time and time again. We get you treated, we pay all your bills, and we get you money in your pocket. We just need the time to be able to do that to where we get enough in your pocket to where you're happy. And that takes time. And I think it's very important that you guys understand that, because we are looking out for your best interests. And that's just kind of what we do.
And unfortunately, there's some people who think they can do it on their own, or some people that think, well, my insurance is not going to do me wrong. The insurances are not on your side, even your own insurance.
Yeah.
And if you try to represent yourself, try to do things on your own, you may not get the treatment that you need. You're not going to get any monetary benefits out of it. Yeah. Even though they hire an attorney, they may lose 33%, but they'll still be better off for themselves if they hire somebody.
Yeah, they'll gain more than they've lost by hiring an attorney, because I always say, you're putting somebody in your corner to combat the insurance company, because they got every resource at their fingertips, and an individual needs that also if they're looking out for their best interests.
And that expertise that we bring to bear, I think, is something that I don't think the general public really understands. Yes, you can change your own transmission if you like. Are you a mechanic? No? Well, you can watch it on YouTube. You can try to change your own transmission, maybe.
Yeah.
But you may want to take it to a transmission specialist to make sure that everything is working right to get the best result. And I really believe in that.
It for me, it's like kind of like I tell everybody in the office. Like, for me, time is a commodity. It's like, I can learn how to do this, or I can do what I already know I do well and focus on that, and get somebody else who knows how to do this to do it for me.
Right. Well, I've told my wife there's a lot of projects around the house that we need to do. Built-in shelves. We're gonna put sheetrock. I was like, look, growing up, my pops taught us, hey man, you want to work with your hands, learn how to work with your hands, because when it comes down to it, if you can't get a job, somebody's always gonna need something, right? So he taught us how to put shingles on a roof. Lay foundation, or pour whatever you want to call it, drywall, paint. Lay some tile. I've seen it all done. I can change my brakes. I can do all that. Do I want to do it?
No.
Do I have confidence in myself that I can do it?
Do you have time to do it?
Do I have time to do it? No, I want it to look professional. I wanted to do that. If I really needed to, I could figure it out.
Sure.
I'm not trying to do all that, though.
Sure.
I want to trust a professional to do it.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what we're asking our clients to do, or potential clients.
I like
Yeah.
that.
And I always tell people that, like, don't trust a banker to change your alternator.
Right.
Don't trust, a doctor to go and practice law for you. Like, you want to defer to the people who know how to do this stuff or who.
My frustration is when I get a client, and just this last week, she said, potential new client, she said, I need to go talk to my brother about it. Is your brother an attorney? Then what are you asking him about?
Yeah.
What does he know?
I agree.
Don't even get me started on that one, man.
Yeah.
Well, see, a lot of people will automatically get spooked on the having to pay an attorney. A lot of people don't know. A lot of it's contingency. A lot of people don't understand what that is.
The ones you're paying up front are criminal, family.
Right. But I explained that to him up front. You'll never pay us out of pocket. Our job, our whole purpose is to we work on a contingency.
But they're already like, that sounds sus. Yeah. I don't have to pay you. We have to actually work for our
That's the
fee.
reason I give them the expression. You've heard the expression, we don't get paid until you get paid. That is exactly how we work.
Yeah. You're exactly right.
So I want to segue a little bit. Ray, you and I were talking about this, I guess, a couple days ago, but it's who's going to go to the NBA Finals. Yeah. We already know one of the teams.
I picked that one.
Well, yeah, I think we both did. I thought it was going to, I'll be honest with you, I thought that the series was going to go longer than it did. But OKC, the Thunder, are currently in the championship, and right now it's between the New York Knicks and the Pacers, and it looks like the Pacers are probably going to go.
More than likely. I did not pick that one.
Yeah, I thought New York was going to be the Cinderella, even though they were the higher ranked team.
Right.
But I think the Pacers are kind of the Cinderella right now. Like they've had 3 of those games where they've had. It's insane.
Well, that first game that they won, where Naismith hit like 6 or 7
came
back-to-back
back,
3-pointers, like
in 2 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever it was.
They were down 23 points.
That was a series closer, and it was game 1. You know what I mean? Right. I mean, what does that do to your morale?
It definitely set the tone. Like
in New York.
Yeah.
New York was they were had
on
a
the
route.
road.
They had a route. They were cruising into
fans were cheering.
Yeah, we got it. We got it.
So I was actually in Miami meeting with another attorney who's from New York, huge Knicks fan, and we were at dinner, and he kept looking at his phone. I was like, "Are you watching the Knicks game?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Dude, let's go." I was like, "Let's just go watch it at a bar." So we go watch it at a bar, and he's like, "Oh, we got this in the bag. We got this in the bag." Then 1 minute or 2 minutes come by, he's like, "They're gonna lose. They're gonna fucking lose. They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose." He's like, "Oh my god, oh my god." I've never seen somebody so worked up, and then they lost. I was like, "Oh, I feel horrible for you."
Sounds like Vinny.
Yeah,
during the Texans games.
So,
don't get me started.
2 questions. Who do you predict will win the Eastern Conference, and who do you think will go on to win the series?
It's kind of we just said it. I originally
or
picked,
the finals. I'm sorry.
I originally picked the Knicks to make it to the finals. So at this rate, I don't see them having anything to do with the Pacers. Pacers are going to punish them.
Yeah.
However,
It's in Indiana.
No, this next game's in New York, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
Because New York had home court.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters.
I don't think so.
They looked terrible.
Yeah.
They didn't play any defense in this last game. So I'm going to pick the Pacers to make it to the finals. But frankly, I don't think that anybody is going to beat the OKC right now.
They've been winning by 30-plus points.
They set a record for the margins of victory throughout the entire season, and they proved it. The only time, that loss that they took to Minnesota recently was weird, where they got blew out by
40
points was unreal. But for the most part, when they play good and they play healthy and everybody's moving and doing their part, they will blow teams out the water.
It's not even close.
Not even close. So hopefully the Pacers make it a game, but my pick is that OKC will beat them in 5.
Yeah, I agree. OKC's going to take it. I think it's going to be the Pacers that are going to be there. It's funny because I made a comment, and I'll just say this, and you're going to hate it probably, but my reference, I was talking to my wife, and I was like, man, when they got blown out, OKC did, by Minnesota, not that I think Minnesota's a slouch or they couldn't have done it to any other team. I was like, you know what, I lose respect for OKC. And I know they're going to the finals. I'm picking them to win it all. When you get blown out by 40, I'm like, that's not a championship team right there, championship mentality. Maybe it's because they're young. You just give away a game like that. Because I was like, I don't reference Jordan and the Bulls, Spurs, whatever. Like, they wouldn't just, if you lose a game by 10, 12, whatever, fine. But 40 points, if you got a heart of a champion, all that stuff, you just don't do that.
I think sometimes, like, two things have to happen all at once, and they just had a perfect storm. Like, the first thing is the other team has to make their shots.
Yeah. Perfect game.
Yeah.
They were at home, so Minnesota was at home, so they felt comfortable, and they were shooting. Everything they shot went in. Like, even their third best player, their fourth best player, were making all of the shots. And then, because OKC relies kind of a little bit on three-pointers, they weren't making their shots. So once they get down 20, and that thing continues. Snowballs. Yeah. And it's hard to come back from it. Now, I agree that you shouldn't get blown out by 40, but it's a perfect storm. Notice no other game happened like that, and then the last game, they blew them out by 30.
There are such things as anomalies.
It's a blips. And if you think that the Bulls never got beat by 20 or 30, you'd be crazy.
Yeah.
They definitely got beat up.
I think
Perfect storms just happened.
I think
I know you don't believe that because I know Jordan won every game he ever played.
I didn't say that.
And
I didn't say that.
He never lost, and he blew everybody out the water.
I didn't say that.
I'm with y'all 100%. I think that OKC and Indy, OKC and 5. I think Pacers will get one. I think it'll probably be a close one. I don't think it'll be a blowout.
They're not going to win in OKC, I don't think. Not like they did the Knicks.
I'm sorry. I think Indy will get one, sneak one in.
Yeah.
But I think OKC in 5.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if Indiana won.
I'll tell you what I didn't. I mean, how many people predicted OKC and Indy in the finals?
Well, I mean,
forget Boston was number one.
The weirdest thing is even at the end of the season, they had the best record. They were number one in the West. And
OKC. That's what I
they
said.
were number one in the West, and they still weren't picked to win at all. They had the best record. They had blown teams. They had set a record, and they still weren't the best team to by the odds
it's like
makers.
the best,
but
by the odds
team.
makers, they weren't the number one team to win it all.
Yeah.
By the odds
but
makers.
a lot. I mean, there were a lot of things that happened in this final, in this playoffs that normally don't happen. What's his face? Tatum getting a season-ending injury.
Achilles.
Torn Achilles. Steph Curry, out for the last 3 or 4 games. So it's just, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, and at that point, it tends to lean towards the younger players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Dad, who's your take?
Dad?
I have no idea. I don't keep up.
Just make a guess. Just say a guess.
Okay, we'll call it Oklahoma
Or
Indiana. Or you could say New York. New York's down 3-1.
Right.
3-1 or 3-2?
3-1.
3-1. So the chances of them coming to win that series to go to the finals is unlikely.
Very.
Possible,
But unlikely.
Yeah. So if you had to pick Oklahoma City, Indiana, or a long shot New York,
I do Oklahoma.
Okay. Yeah, I think
good
so.
choice.
Yeah, smart choice.
You know, I
choice
saw
of the
Vegas has them at minus 750, no matter obviously New York or Indiana.
OKC?
Yeah.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm definitely, whenever the season's over, I'm going to pick a futures of the Rockets going to the finals.
I'd like that.
They need a piece.
Or the conference finals. I don't know if they have that.
I will pick conference finals and the finals.
Yeah.
Futures.
To be fair, I said this weeks ago. I said that the West would win the finals. I don't think any team in the East could ever beat anybody
in the West.
It's crazy how it swings.
West. Yeah.
I just thought that because my biggest test, I didn't think that OKC could get by Denver like they did. But I said if they did, they're going to beat everybody.
Yeah.
They are that good.
And Denver lost a close one that could have just swung everything.
Yeah.
And it just comes down to those.
The funny thing about OKC I really like watching is they're winning. Yes, they're scoring points, but they play tenacious D.
Yeah.
They are fantastic. They get turnovers, and they don't really get
They're
a
so
bunch of
long.
fouls.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah,
They don't get a
lanky.
lot of fouls. Yeah. Chet Holmgren is a good
7-something, 7-2.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But
I see them poke at the ball. Caruso is playing. He is the best sixth man. I don't know if I think he may start, so maybe he's not a sixth man, but he's not a star. and he is carrying the team. If you actually watch the game, right, he gets all of the steals. He's making all of the cuts, rebounds. He's doing all that grunt work that no one pays attention to.
I just read an article this morning that said that like the GM just picked him up this past year, so this is his first team with first year with the team, but he added him to this really talented group, and he's like.
And I think he's the oldest player on the
catalyst.
team.
Probably.
He's the oldest player on the team, I think.
Wow. Where did SGA come from?
Canada?
No, he got traded to them.
Oh, no, you know what? He was selected.
Was that who he got drafted by?
So he was part of the.
He could have been with
I heard
Warrior?
that they got him as part of the Paul George. When they got rid of Paul George, he was either a draft pick or somehow he was part of that deal. So I don't know if there was like a three-way.
Got it.
Wait, so did he ever play with the Warriors?
Maybe the Clippers then.
Imagine SGA with the Warriors.
George was
By
part
the way,
of it.
guys, we have off camera our producer, AJ, who is a new lovebird, by the way. I'd like to announce that.
Congratulations. Hey, all right. Hey, what's her name?
Clippers. Okay.
Clippers, okay.
All right. Well, that concludes this episode of The Money Line. Dad, Pops, thank you for doing this. It was fun. But yeah, thanks.